Howdy. Again, my name is Landon McLemore. I'm from the small town of Windthorst, Texas, population about 400 people, about 25 miles due south of Wichita Falls, Texas. It is a dairy farming community. Now, what is a dairy farm? A dairy farm is where you raise, breed, and eventually milk dairy cows. In my particular instance, Holstein cows. Holstein cows are the black and white ones, not the cute little fluffy ones that everybody sees on TikTok. And I go, I want that one. No, the ones that can grow to be about 6 feet tall. For reference, I'm about 5'10", so that's a big cow. And as Violet, Noah, and I have worked with various forms of livestock, we have a deep understanding of the effort, time, and lessons that come with working with various forms of livestock. My work with livestock, in particular the grilling work of a dairy, has taught me valuable life skills that I am now able to apply to my each and everyday life. I'm here to inform you about how the dairy has taught me the value of work ethic and what it means to work, the value of knowing what it means to be a provider, and third, and lastly not least, what it means to reap what you sow, in Windthorst terms, or in other terms, long-term gratification versus short-term satisfaction. Now, what does it mean to work? Well, on a dairy farm, it's extremely hard, it's taxing. A morning start between 2 to 5 a.m., whether it be having to go grab a calf at 2 in the morning in the snow, or whether it be shoveling pins in 105-degree weather for 6 hours straight. The work is extremely hard and it's extremely taxing. But my dad always said, son, one day I hope you're driving down the road and there's a man on the side of the road digging a ditch, and you know what it means to dig that ditch, and you know what it means to be why you're digging that ditch, and it's to provide. Which brings me to my second point, what it means to be a provider. So each and every day, I was responsible for the calves on the dairy, and it was my duties to go retrieve the ones that were born. And these calves are like humans. When they're born, they can't walk. They dang sure can't talk. That would be freaky. So they're extremely divided. They don't really feed by themselves, so they're relying on somebody, and that happened to be me. And I took that responsibility very seriously. Without me feeding, gathering, and watering these animals, they would perish. They were reliant on me. I had a responsibility, and I took that very seriously. Knowing what it means to have something or someone rely on you has taught me the early pressures of having reliance and responsibility it truly takes to be a good provider. And also, while I was providing, I understood that these things took time, which brings me to my third point, what it means to reap what you sow, or again, long-term gratification versus short-term satisfaction. Everything good in life takes time, takes effort. For instance, on a dairy, you have a sick calf. That calf requires a lot of time, a lot of effort, and a lot of medicine. And a lot of times, they just don't want any of it. And I remember I had this one calf who would not take the bottle, and I would sit there for 45 minutes just bent over he's between my legs, and I'm just like trying to feed him, and he just wouldn't take. And I had to give him a lot of time, hours, and even money. Like, medicine's not free. And so it's just getting so unbelievably frustrated. But fast forward about 2 or 3 years later, and that calf is one of the largest producing, best producing on the farm, on the entire farm. And it just hit me like a ton of bricks that effort that I put into that calf was not in vain. So learning to trust the process and not wanting immediate satisfaction has given me a whole new perspective on what long-term gratification really means. So through my work with the dairy, I learned what it meant to work hard and what it meant to dig a ditch. I also learned what it meant to be a provider, and I understood that good things that are worth doing take time and they take effort, and it's not always immediate. It doesn't always happen at a snap of a finger. You don't always get exactly what you want out of it. But I'm very grateful for my time on the dairy. Animals are not just animals. They're not just food. Sometimes we just have to listen, and we learn that they're educators.